Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to focus on the importance of changing the narrative around taxi driving in Kenya. And this one, I want to focus more on the ride hailing, Uber, Bolt, digital cab, and the rest. We all understand that among all other transportation businesses, like the matatu industry, the boda boda, the Nissans long distance, the buses that transit various towns, we all can admit that taxi industry, the ride hailing, the Bolt, the Uber, and the rest, has been seen and understood and discussed as the least profitable business among all other delivery or transport businesses. And I don't think that taxi business is so unique compared to the matatus, to boda bodas, to food delivery and the rest, to a point whereby the narrative and storytelling around taxi driving is so negative compared to other business areas. So, and in this video, I just want every driver, every taxi driver in the city of Nairobi, just to appreciate and understand the importance of changing the narrative and focus on telling the positive stories around the businesses that they do. Today, if you walk into any commercial bank in Kenya, no bank will accept to lend money to anyone who wants to buy a vehicle and put it on the taxi platform, especially if it is carrying a PSV insurance. And this we have already discussed with some banking experts. I have invited some people from some commercial banks into this platform. You can check some videos I have already shared. And they told us that if you go and borrow money today at any commercial bank, at least a majority of them, they will not allow you to use that vehicle for taxi purposes as long as that loan you have not completed its payment. So you can only borrow for private use of that vehicle. But when it comes to the matatu industry, it's very easy for people to go and borrow money to buy a matatu, to buy a minibus, to buy a bus that transits people from Mombasa to Dar es Salaam and elsewhere because of the perception. And to some extent, probably the taxi industry, it's true, it may not have all the money that other sectors have. But the reality is some drivers have done this job for a long time. They have done this job for so many years, and they cannot be doing this business based on losses. And I want to discuss the fact that some commercial banks probably have refused to lend money to taxi drivers to buy cars because of the perceived risk and also because of the actual risk. First of all, I think insurance companies 2 years ago, they said that there were so many claims from the small vehicles like Suzuki Altos, like Nissan March, like Nissan Note, and the Toyota Vitz. And they said that it was almost a guarantee that if you buy a comprehensive insurance with those vehicles, the probability is that 99% of the time you will claim, and it's because those vehicles are used on the roads. So true to the fact, there is quite real risk in banks lending money for taxi usage. But also, let us look at the side of the income analysis. Even if the taxi business does not have money, or even if the taxi business has money, some banks might refuse to lend money to drivers because they don't see them as motivated enough to grow that business in the future, because the lending of that money sometimes it is based on the ambition of the people receiving the money. And a lot of startup entrepreneurs will tell you they get to fundraise, they get to mobilize money to scale up their small businesses based on the ambition, based on the big vision that they communicate about their business to investors. Today, someone will start a very, very small initiative in Kenya, a young entrepreneur. They will build, a pitch that will move mountains, and they will get investors and angel venture capitalists to come and put money into their initiative. Why? Not because they are making a lot of money at that point in time, but because they are communicating a big vision. So I know a lot of taxi drivers who have a different opinion in terms of storytelling about the industry will want us to show the industry is suffering. They will want us to communicate that there is no money in this sector. They want us to communicate that they are being overcharged in terms of commission. They are being paid less by the client per trip. But the truth of the matter is, those stories could be true as the drivers may want us to communicate, but what benefit are they getting from that? What harm is it bringing to them when we communicate the negative side of the business? First of all, once we tell the good story of the business and we sound optimistic, I have said there is opportunities for financing. Secondly, there is an opportunity for people to pay more, because if it goes around the world that taxi drivers in Kenya, they are paid well. They are paid more than, let's say, $500 per month as their take home. Even someone coming to invest in Kenya in the taxi business, they will definitely think about more money than other people would have thought otherwise. But again, let's think about it. If we tell the negative side of the business, people will flee. If we just portray that drivers make 100 shillings per trip, nobody will want to come and invest in the taxi business in our country. So this is what I would advise drivers. Nobody will change your narrative apart from yourselves. And the biggest beneficiary of positive storytelling will be the drivers themselves. I don't know what you think, guys, about this, but I feel that it is the high time that we portray taxi industry as a good business opportunity to attract more investment and to make the work conditions better for the people who work in the industry. And you will notice that the government will have the tendency of making the condition easier for driving type of businesses. If a government realizes that a certain sector is thriving, they will encourage, they will put into place policies that will enhance more growth into that sector, so that it can provide more income to the government in future in terms of taxation and other forms of money for the government. But if already you want to show the government that there is no opportunity in the sector, you want to show the government that this is a business that is bringing down Kenyan drivers, that is sucking blood out of their veins, then the government will have no interest to focus on a business that is drowning its citizen. They will like let it drown you, and then it gets out of their way, and then that business will close. But if we portray this as one big opportunity that would require even better conditions, let me tell you, forces will come together to make it work. But I think the most important thing at this point is for the drivers to be very optimistic, to cast a vision of hope, and to work, with excellence, and also ask for payment beyond what I call the service delivered. Let people desire to pay you extra for the better services that you offer, for the big, customer service that you deliver to them, other than just delivering them from point A to point B. So ideally, that is all that I had to tell you. Yeah, so to conclude, what I can say is that each and every driver must try their level best to individualize their interaction with the clients. Make sure that you build yourself a network of loyal clients that can call you even offline to give you, some offline trips that will not force you to pay commission to the ride-hailing service providers. So, and that can only happen if you are, a driver who is optimistic, that gives maximum level of customer service compared to other drivers. And that's what will actually help you to increase your customer base. Because I don't understand how some drivers have been in this sector for over 3-4 years, and they don't have a single client who calls them offline to go and just pick them when they arrive at the airport. But it's because some drivers don't really focus on excellence. They don't want to build a relationship with the customers that they carry. But if I were you, I would always insist on personalizing a relationship with every client that I carry, and ensure that I give them the level best of my services so that I can build a network of people that I can deliver service offline. And guys, you know what? You never know what you will grow to become. If you open your own taxi company, if you open your own transport company, already you'll have a client base that you could deliver those services in the future. At the end of the day, what I advise taxi drivers is that get into this business with a vision of growth. Don't be in this business to survive from hand to mouth, that every day what you make is what you intend to make. No, get in there with a big vision to increase the number of cars you have, to transition from being a driver to a fleet manager, and being known for the excellent services that you deliver to your clients. Otherwise, if you are just here to take people from point A to B, we will just be complainers every day, every time. And I can tell you, if you are an excellent driver with excellent customer service, I'm telling you, you can outsmart 99.9% of the drivers I have seen in the industry. A lot of people are not in this sector with passion. They are not in this sector to stay. They are transitioning, as I have said, a conveyor belt. Some will come, a lot will leave, but a few are dedicated to stay and grow themselves in the sector. So my proposal to you is that if you have an intention to build yourself in the sector, have a strategic master plan and be excellent in your service, and cast hope ahead each and every day you rise up to drive your vehicle. Cheers and goodbye.